Welcome to this edition of Project Natter. In this video, we're going to take a look at Black Lives Matter UK protest. If this is your first time here, please show your support for freedom of speech by hitting the subscribe button. Joining me to discuss this topic is Martin Costello.
Tolerance is a preference of the far left, which portray everyone else as alright. Corbyn's poo tastes adorable and
Back to the show, Martin.
Hey, David, how's things going?
Looks like World War III. Looks like we've got a civil war on our hands at the moment, doesn't it? We've had 3 days of Black Lives Matter protests. Well, realistically, they were riots, but portrayed as peaceful protests by the media. Even though we've seen video footage from on the ground of the police taking a hiding after they'd taken a knee, should have stayed impartial. We've seen horses get assaulted. Statues torn to the ground and thrown in the river. We've seen monuments, war memorials, vandalised, you name it. What have you made of all this chaos?
Well, the scenes that we witnessed were absolutely appalling. They really, really were. We're talking about an incident that happened thousands of miles away in a foreign country, and it seems to have manifested itself over here. And they speak that it's trying to help Black Lives Matter, but all it's doing is just fueling the flames of racism. It's having the absolute opposite effect. And when you've got these clowns actually desecrating things, causing damage, I think it was about 35 police officers got injured, and a police horse as well, it just makes you wonder what their aim is. And I think it's something that needs to be stamped out as soon as possible.
By the looks of it, the people that were vandalising the war memorials were largely white people, like white middle class, our classes, Marxists or communists. Do you think that Black Lives Matter have been infiltrated and overtaken by communists?
Well, absolutely. I mean, you can see that their aims are nothing really to do with stopping racism. They're just using it as a covert thing to fuel all this going on, trying to take down the government once again. They're trying to remove our history by taking these statues and things down. And yes, we do have some bad things that have happened, but we can't just take these statues and hide them, sweep it all under the carpet, pretend it never happened at all. It's an insult, really. There's definitely a bigger agenda going on here.
Well, I looked on the Black Lives Matter UK GoFundMe page, and we know that Black Lives Matter UK is run by a white Marxist. On the GoFundMe page, they've raised over £700,000, and I read the description, and on the description, saying that their goals that they want to achieve, along with ending imperialism, they wanted to dismantle capitalism. I don't think capitalism has got anything to do with racism, and I think there's going to be a lot of black entrepreneurs and businessmen and women that will disagree with the dismantling of capitalism. I think they're going to run into a few problems there, but that sounds more of a communist idea, Martin. What do you think?
Well, it absolutely is. And we've had people like is it Anthony Joshua, the boxer? He's come out because he was actually speaking at the rally, encouraging people not to buy off white people. I mean, what is this? This is like going back decades. That is racism in its pure and simple form. That is. There's clearly big an agenda going on here because it's not helping anyone at all. They're trying to delete our history, delete our identity and our culture, and they're just trying to take everything down. It's got absolutely nothing at all to do with George Floyd, that poor bloke who died in terrible circumstances. His memory is just being used as an excuse just to cause mayhem for a lot of, I guess, the majority of university student age who have been pent up for a few weeks and want to release their anger, and they're being all used by this. I mean, £700,000, goodness me, someone's got an isolated learner there, haven't they?
Yeah, you want to. If I was you, if you're watching this, if you're from the black community and you're part of the Black Lives Matter, movement, I think you want to question where this money's going and how it's being spent. Genuinely, what do you make of the way that the police have dealt with these incidents, their approaches. We saw in Bristol there, the police inspector, he was talking, saying that he allowed it to happen because he didn't want any disruption. And then we've seen in London the same, police taken to the knee, even though they're supposed to remain professional and impartial, and not show. What do you make of it all? How the police have dealt with it?
It's interesting you actually mentioned Bristol, where they threw the statue of a former, dead slave trade now into the harbour. Bristol have actually had a vote on whether to keep that statue erected or not, and 54% actually voted to retain it. Because it's been there for a couple of 100 years. But once again, we see the same people probably vote to remain, not happy with the result of something, and then taking the law into their own hands and just ripping it down. And just the police just to stand idly by and allow this to happen is disgraceful. It doesn't matter about what that bloke did or didn't do a couple of centuries ago. They still had no right to cause that criminal damage, especially against the wishes of the majority of the city who wanted to keep it. And then we look at London, we saw Winston Churchill's monument was desecrated. A man who fought against genuine fascists. I mean, the irony is absolutely breathtaking, absolutely disgusting. And the police were completely out of control. They've allowed this. They've allowed our monuments to be desecrated like this. They stand around like a load of dummies doing nothing, really, And we need patriots to step up now and protect them.
Well, the police commissioner, Dick, who's a lefty, wouldn't be surprised if she was behind all that. We saw videos of patriots being removed from the Churchill statue only for it to be vandalised minutes later. They were protecting it because the police were failing to do their job, serve and protect. Who are they serving and who are they protecting? It certainly isn't the British interest, at least anyway, is it? That's a line you don't cross. I mean, Winston Churchill's a no-no. National hero, the best prime minister United Kingdom's ever seen. Defeated Hitler, and like you said, stopped us being being invaded by Nazis. And these people, these dirty communists, wouldn't even have a voice if Hitler had taken over already.
Exactly.
The biggest problem that we face isn't Black Lives Matter. We have to remember that they've been infiltrated by the Red Army, who are trying to use this sad tragedy of George Floyd to further their gain. So we need to ban communism. That's my opinion. We need to get rid of them. But thanks again for your time, Martin. I don't know if you're available this Saturday, but I'm going down to the Winston Churchill statue this Saturday at 10 a.m. Just to make sure, just in a peaceful capacity, but just to make sure that the statue isn't vandalised, as the police are failing to do that. Many citizens of this country. I mean, it's the bottom line. It's a line you don't cross, and they've crossed it. So we're going to be there making sure that these communists don't get anywhere near our war memorials and statues. And the irony of it all, Martin, is these war memorials, black people fought in the Second World War as well.
Exactly. You couldn't make it up, could you? But we're thankful with decent patriots like yourself, though, to do the job that the police can't seem to do. So I salute you and all those other that'll be there on Saturday, and we thank you for protecting our culture, our heritage, and most of all, you're protecting our identity. So thank you.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done. We've all got to stand together. So if you're free this Saturday, if you're watching this, please make sure you're down there, Parliament Square, Churchill statue, 10 a.m. And let's make sure that Churchill's left alone. It's your civil right to protest, but you can't go out and start vandalising places and monuments and statues. It's a no-no. They've gone too far now. But thanks again for your time, Martin. We'll touch base again after Saturday, and we'll talk about how that went down.